Most people, when they bend their knees, they really go into a squat position. So they get here and then they just drop. And that's one of the big problems that we see in servers, is that they just drop down and they push all their weight straight down, because as we've talked about, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if we go straight down, our only option is to go straight back up, and that's where the energy is going to shift. And we really don't want to go straight up, we want to go up and out. So that's really our objective, is teaching and learning how to effectively do the knee bend correctly.
Gotcha. So the traditional knee bend, or what a lot of folks might do, where they're coming down, like you said, you're going up when you want to be going out into the court a little bit during the rest of the swing. Now, you also talked a little bit about what happens if you bend your knees and you kind of stop for a second. So what's the deal with that?
So when we go down, it's called an eccentric contraction. So when we're going down in the motion, and then when we're coming up, it's called a concentric contraction. So one's storing of energy going down and one's releasing energy going up. And there's a really short period of time between those two. It's when you shift from going down to coming up. And really good servers have a very small amount of time that they shift in. Less effective servers spend way too much time at the bottom before shifting up. And for every millisecond that you wait down there, you let energy leak out, which doesn't end up transferring up and into the ball.
And that's just sort of based on how our bodies and muscles and everything are built.
Exactly. That's the same thing for jumping, for throwing, for any type of movement that requires you to store and release energy.
Gotcha. So if we were talking about like a normal spring, if you just kind of pushed it down and held it there, when you took your hand off, it would go, you know, as high as it would if you just pushed it down and released instantly. But we're not built like springs. We need to be down and up to kind of maintain that energy release there.
And many people have probably heard the term plyometric movement, and this is what we're talking about. A plyometric movement is simply an eccentric contraction followed by a concentric contraction. The quicker that can happen, the more power we can get.
Okay, so we want to make sure the knee bend is a quicker move versus one where you hold it for a little while. And we also, you mentioned at the top, a lot of people lack twist rotation. So what is twist rotation? What should we be doing?
Really, really good point. So if we're just going straight down like a squat, that's in this direction. Twisting, what we're talking about here, is twisting around our hip. Can we actually twist on this axis rather than just pushing all our weight down? If we can do both of those, go down and back in one movement, that's the ideal loading position, meaning that this hip doesn't just go straight down like that. This hip actually goes down and back in one motion. So we get this twist rotation that allows us to load into the serve effectively.
So you're loading better, you're storing more energy, and then like you talked about with the release, you're actually releasing in the correct direction up to the swing. So, you know, coming straight up kills your power because it's going up when it should be going forward. So simply by changing how you load, you're now moving in the correct direction. That by itself is going to add power to your serve, not to mention the fact that you're actually building a little bit more, storing a little bit more energy in this process as well, which you can then release into the serve. All right, so Mark, what drills can folks at home do, either in their home or next time they hit the court, to practice this particular technique and actually what is it, twist rotation, get the proper twist rotation when they're loading for their serve?
Sure. So I use a series of progressions with players at all levels, including some of the best pros in the world, to make sure that they feel comfortable and are able to effectively transition into this twist rotation movement. So one of the first progressions is we start with 3 balls, and we just position it behind your back leg, and you would be set up like you would getting ready to serve. So that's your normal service position. We put 1 ball literally halfway between the heel and the toe of your shoe. Second ball just behind the heel, and then the third ball about half a foot behind your heel. So we have 3 distinct positions here to work on that. So I'm going to take the racket out of your hand, and you're just going to go back and pick up the first ball and hand it to me. So he goes down and picks up. One thing that we want to do, and I'll put that back down so we can work through this. We want to try to keep the chest upright as much as we can.
So don't do this.
Exactly. Don't bend at the back.
All right, so I'm like this as much as I can be. Okay.
And then the second component here is to try to really emphasize twisting at the hip.
Okay, so twist. Is that twist at the hip?
Perfect. Try to keep that head up as much as
Okay.
we can, and the toughest one is the third one because we have to get back down there. Good. So as you can see, the first one's relatively straightforward. It gets more challenging.
Yep.
If you can comfortably do that, go through that progression 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
Then we progress to then strawing, but then starting to release the energy.
Hey, real quick, I want to introduce our new AI tennis coach, Bert. And to take a lesson, all you have to do is film your serve with your phone, and Bert will tell you what mistakes you're making and how to fix them. So if you're interested, just click the link in the description. Okay, back to the video.
So the next progression, same type of position, but now we're going to go down, and when we pick up, what our objective is here is to get into a throwing motion. So we're
Okay.
going to go down, pick up, and then get from here into our sort of trophy position. And then when we throw, we're going to do a tennis throw, which is a little bit different, where we get this shoulder over shoulder position.
Okay. Okay. So down here, and then I'm gonna throw, just to demo it slowly, like this. Maybe more than this, which is more of a baseball throw.
Correct.
Okay, so I want the shoulder coming over more. All right.
Because a really good example, a baseball throw, what'll happen is when you throw, you will over rotate early.
Okay.
And that's why it's a big misconception that just going out and throwing is going to directly impact your serve. You want to make sure that you do a tennis-specific serve throw.
Okay. Well, let me try and tell me if I'm doing it right. Like that.
That's really good start. What we want to try to emphasize is keeping that front shoulder forward as long as possible.
Okay, so even more than
Even
what
more.
I did.
Yeah,
All right.
over-exaggerate it.
All right. All right. All right.
Good. So it looks a little funky. It looks a little different
I
because
don't look
what
that
we're
cool.
trying to do
I don't look cool doing
is
it.
trying to do a cartwheel or shoulder over shoulder position.
Okay, got it. Yep.
Drop down, chest up. There we go. Nice. And you popped out of it perfectly. Really, really good attempt. So that's that series of progressions. Now the next series is we're actually going to pick up the racket, and I call this the elephant drill because you'll see in a second why. So what we'll do is you'll start with a ball,
All right.
and you'll over-exaggerate here this movement like an elephant trunk. It goes back and you rotate as far as you can into that back leg, and then you hit a serve. So this is not a real
Am I trying to
motion.
come down real low?
Exactly.
Okay.
Trying to come down lower than normal just to get the feeling. Over-exaggerate it. Good. And the first couple times people do this, they sometimes struggle with contact, and that's okay because this
The
we're not
toss, it kind of throws
exactly.
it off.
The toss gets over-exaggerated. It's not a real service motion. It's a hip involvement exercise. We're trying to really activate that back hip and work on that twist rotation.
Should I try and really sit into it?
Exactly.
Okay.
So go as low as you can, go as back as far as you can, and try to really over-exaggerate that hip turn. Good. And once you hit 3, 4, 5 serves like that, then go back to your normal motion. So he's working on exaggerating it. Now when we say, okay, well, let's focus on your regular service
Regular
motion
motion.
and see how that feels.
Yeah, it's one of those where you like you have to hit one or two to kind of transition out of it a little bit.
So what our objective here with this serve is really to get the body to understand that our goal is to really shift into that back leg, focus on emphasizing how important it is to twist rotate, not just drop down into a squat or knee bend position, and then be able to shift out of that and transition into an optimum serving position.
And this is going to be one that you're going to feel instantly. If you're watching this video right now and you shadow your swing and you realize I'm coming straight down, maybe the weight's a little bit more equally distributed versus really not only getting that twist, but when you twist back like that, you can feel the weight getting loaded up on that. I mean, I could feel it really getting loaded up. So if this is something you shadow right now, you're gonna notice the difference if this is a power killer you're suffering from.